Okay. Hello. Hi. How you doing? Good to see
You got a whole film on eating. How to eat film.
The true technique.
Starring on beef.
Mr. Sang must have been watching his darling wife because on the 8th, she also will be celebrating her birthday. So again, we are here for a dual purpose. At this moment, I would like to ask the children of Mr. Sang to stand and be acknowledged. Will the children please stand? Children who are present. Will the understanding brother is here and also nephew? Will you please stand? Thank you. And now, all the members of the family, including the in-laws, please stand. All the members, everybody. Hearty round of applause, please. Thank you.
In many respects, Jado
And the daughters of the East.
and the daughters of the East, thank you, sir. In many respects, both Dada and Mama are sons and daughters, respectively, of the East. And what I really mean by that is that although we're celebrating their 50 years of marriage, I think I've followed that marriage for approximately 38 years. And I first met Mama Sang and Dada Sang when they were sons and daughters of Eastern Kingston. And in many respects, I have followed their movements. I have followed them or they have followed me, one or the other. Maybe we have both been following each other. But many of us here, Tony, Phyllis, Dorothy, grew up in Eastern Kingston. Years after, we moved and we're living in northern St. Andrew. And for a number of years, we were also neighbors. And then the journey moved to this country. And for years, they were living in Brooklyn, for years in Queens, and then now in Hempstead, Long Island. So, observing those 38 years, one thing that has struck me is that as the years have unfolded, the relationship has in fact deepened. In other words, the roots have grown deeper rather than getting shallow. And I think that is a compliment to their mutual devotion to each other. So I propose this toast to Mama and Daddy Sang, celebrating their 50 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Wilson, for your toast. Consul Sang, over the years, has endeared himself to just about everyone with whom he meets. And this is why, on this occasion, we all had to get together to let them know just how we feel about them. Because I have never yet asked Consul Sang to assist in any respect, and he would say no. And I'm almost sure that there are others of us here in this room tonight who can endorse that fact, that he's always saying yes. Sometimes we wish he would say no, because although he's hurting, he will still say yes rather than no. And that is what is primarily characteristic of him. And so we are here to show our appreciation. And being a part of our district, and since we have our district master here with us tonight, the Right Honorable George Simpson, it gives me great pleasure at this point in time to ask the Honorable George Simpson to say a few words.
Friends, first let me address Uncle Eric, as I so lovingly refer to him, and to the brothers. Accomplishing 50 years and spending so much time with the second love of your life, the fraternity. You have to give us the recipe how you accomplish what you have accomplished. So to Aunt Winnie, to the sisters here, you got to give them the recipe of your endurance. How you manage to stay with Uncle Eric out of the house so often to accomplish this milestone in your life. We're going to demand it from you. In my opinion, I think it was based true love in the beginning and understanding. Today, we are here to celebrate with you one of the biggest milestones in any of us lives. Both of you, I wish you reap the sweet nectar of fruits and the seeds that were planted in the years gone by. On behalf of Herman and myself, I raise my glass and I induce all of you to raise a glass and let us stand. Wish Uncle Eric and Aunt Winnie. It's yours.
Thank you.
Here, Bill.
Say a few words, but considering that we are many, I'm going to ask you to be very, very brief. So I'm going to open the floor so that those of you who would like to say something will do so. Please, again, I ask you, be very brief. Natasha?
On behalf of the grandchildren, those who are here and those who cannot make it, I'd like to say to my grandparents that we love you very much. There are times when my grandmother says to us, let me tell you about the stories about back in Jamaica with this guy and that guy. And we might go, oh God, here she goes again. But it's been 50 years, so obviously she knows what she's talking about. And I like to praise you because 50 years, people don't get married 50 years anymore. I don't know how you put up with Grandpa and everything. And I don't know how Grandpa puts up with you. But obviously you're meant for each other. And I'd like to say we love you and 50 more.
All right, let's give a big hand.
Without congratulating Brother Sang, as I've known him for so many years. Now we're going back over 30 years. I've known Brother Sang. And this is coming from Jamaica. His lovely wife, I knew I had the opportunity or the privilege of meeting her in America. And I can tell you that they're two fine couples. And I do admire them. Mr. Sang, I mean, for him to have a life that he has had, she had to play a major part in his life. And of course, I have to congratulate her in contributing her cooperation and her understanding in his fraternity, in his fraternity way of life. Mr. Sang, Brother Sang, and Mrs. Sang, I want to congratulate you on behalf of brothers and sisters of the Independent United Order of Mechanics, and also on behalf of my wife. I wish you a very, very healthy and prosperous 50-year anniversary. I hope you will continue to live in that harmony and that loving environment that you know enjoy for the rest of your life.
Thank you, Brother Davis. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Thank you. On behalf of the Daughters of the East, I had to rise and congratulate you as a couple. I'd like to reiterate what the Grand Master said as far as putting up with each other, you know, these 50 years. I know it couldn't have been an easy task. I, too, have been to your home, and I love both of you. And I've heard, you know, the different conversations that we've had about Counselor Sang going here and going there and staying out and coming back the next day. So I tip my hat to you, Mr. Sang, for putting up with him all these years, still staying by his side, being his backbone, because I know that women, and I'm a woman, are the backbone of each and every nation. And I know that I will probably be challenged, but that's okay. Mrs. Sang and Counselor Sang, we wish you well, and we wish you Godspeed on behalf of the Daughters of the East. Congratulations.
My loved sister-in-law and my brother, I am glad to be here tonight. But I'll tell you straight, I wish I had another wedding cake to make for you. I made your wedding cake. Yes. And I made your daughter's wedding cake. And I'm glad to be here tonight to wish you all the best in the future. May you rest with a good spirit after you leave this function.
Sang and Mrs. Sang, let me take the opportunity to wish you both a very happy 50th anniversary celebration. I know it has been a very hard year's task, Mrs. Sang. I just heard the speaker saying that the women are the backbone of men. But if I remember well, it was out of Adam that that bowl was removed. And God must have given the woman. However, let me say, on behalf of the Sons of East Lodge number 7, it is our privilege to be here serving you tonight. You have put in your time, and deservedly so, and we are very happy for you. I'm hoping that all of these brothers, at some time in their lives, will be sitting down and to be honored, having to serve 50 years with their wives, and have a lovely wife sitting next to them in total agreement. My wife, for example, complains many nights that I'm on the street late. But Mrs. Sang, you're not alone in this world. All these ladies have suffered somewhat, and today you sit and you enjoy all the adoration. So, Mr. and Mrs. Sang, let us have a drink Wish them well. A toast to you, Mr. Sang and Mrs. Sang. God bless
To everyone present, I just want to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Sang on their 50th wedding anniversary. It's really something to live with someone for so long and put up with whatever they have to put up with all these years. And it's an example for us, if you're having second thoughts, to look in that direction and to make things right. So to everyone here, this is a good lesson, and congratulations to them.
Mount Sinai Lodge number 7, sir. I beat the party. I know you did not know I was here, so I wanted to surprise you. I want to bring you greetings from my lodge and want to make your wife aware that some of the nights when you're out, you are with us. I want to congratulate the couple because, you know, it has always been said that to really live with someone for 50 years, something is wrong. But it had to be good. And I hope you will see the other milestone, 100. God bless you all. Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, I am sure that only few people in this room knew that I was Stan Herring. You've exposed my identity, and I have no other choice than to rise to identify myself. Brother Sang is a Sang. For me, this is a great privilege and honor to be here with you on your 50th wedding anniversary. As you know, over the years, we have worked together. You did not impose on me this but I should call you counselor. You was always Eric to me, and I was always standing for you. We have done a lot of work together. 50 years of marriage in anyone's, in any land, is a long time. I am sure, beyond any doubt, that there was something there that kept you both together in such harmony. The only thing I see wrong with this union is how Mrs. Sang tolerated it when you practice on the stall. I said to a friend of mine tonight that, you know, Eric made sometimes a wrong note on the piano. And somebody says, no, it was a song. Brother sang, Counselor sang, Mrs. sang. May God bless you, grant you long life, and enjoy this union as you have enjoyed your first 50 years. Thank you.
You met with a little disappointment, but the second go round, you won, and I pass by from time to time, I see the edifice, at least the foundation is going up, and I think it's going to be quite successful. Now, getting back to the two of you, the gentleman mentioned about the saw. Mr. Sang calls me Beiji, and I call him Jamaican. We have a lot of fun. Last time we played together, I played the violin, he played the saw, and I stopped playing. Why? He drowned me out. But it's nice knowing both of you to be together for so long. My wife and I, a few years ago, celebrated our little 25th. Now you're 50, we have a long way to go to catch up to you. But I doubt if I'll make it. You see this gray hair? I don't think I'll make it. But I hope to gradually get to a few years. And I wish both of you all the blessings presently and in the future. God bless you both.
Thank you very much. The floor is still open. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, anyone else would like to say a few words?
Say congratulations to Mrs. Sang and Mr. Sang. I'm new in the circuit, but I like to see stuff like this when people are married for a long time. I too am married, and I know the institution of marriage can be difficult at times. And it just goes to show that when one puts work into the marriage, through all obstacles, through all hard times, all good times, they can stick together and prosper and have someone there when they need them. I'd just like to thank you and just give you my blessings and hope you have another 50 years of matrimony. Thank you.
When I was asked to be Toastmaster, I was somewhat hesitant in that I was asked only a short while before we got started. But considering the significance, as I said before, of the occasion, I really had to accept. Because, as pointed out by the various speakers, Councillor Sang has devoted his, I'm going to say, entire life, because although I did not know him in Jamaica, over the years since I have known him, he has been just about everywhere helping mankind. And I think that it is really good that they are here together, Mrs. Sang and himself, and for us to really show them how much we appreciate them. Because, you know, it's one thing to give one all the praise and the laurels and what have you when they are gone. But it's, I think it's really good to let people know just how you feel about them when they are healthy and strong and can appreciate it. And so, 50 years of marriage, I mean, most of us shut up the thought. You know, and as pointed out, they must have been doing something good. Because as you go through life with all its problems, and to have them still sitting here together, holding hands, smiling at each other happily, then, I'm telling you, I personally would like a fraction of that blissfulness. And I hope, as pointed out, that they will somehow show us or indicate to us just how to do it, because the recipe has to be good. I understand that
Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from the Toastmaster that he was only asked tonight to be the Toastmaster. I was asked to be the Toastmaster. But I thought it was unfair that these are the sponsoring people and they should play this part. And Brother McLennan, who played such an important part in organizing this function, I think it was fair to give him this role.
Yeah.
most possible good master who had an occasion this evening to attend to, and he just arrived, and we're going to ask him to say a few words. I think he's somewhere in the back there. Someone, will you get the most possible good master?
It's coming around.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most possible good master of the order, Winston Anthony Jones.
I just know where to start. I'm just coming in and I had no intention of coming this side. Mr. Toastmaster, our special friends, father, brother, mother, daughter, Eric and Winnie, to the children, grandchildren, and friends that are here this evening. The occasion, I'm quite sure, has pretty much well been expounded on by all the speakers who already have spoken. And I think on this occasion we can only look with admiration on the wonderful couple here and see what they have produced as children and grandchildren during the many years that they have been together. And naturally, I'm quite sure that all of us would want to, at some time, feel to be in the books for which they both have been recorded tonight. And that is to be celebrating their golden anniversary. Quite often we hear about anniversary, the silver anniversary, the 10th anniversary, but here's a golden anniversary. As a matter of fact, it's the first time I've had the opportunity to be at this, in celebrating this kind of occasion. Over the years that I've known Mr. and Mrs. Sang, I must tell you that they have been a kind of role model, if I may use that term here, especially Brother Sang, as most of you know, the association with the fraternity that we both share. Many of us here are members of the fraternity. About 11 years ago at a special banquet, I made a proclamation that he was really my mentor in coming up into the order, the fraternity. And tonight I just want to reiterate that very same statement, because he still continues to be my mentor regardless of the position that I hold, as was stated by the master of ceremony. So Eric and Winnie, for the years that you have quarreled with him about going off to lodge and coming in at good hours in the morning, we just want to tell you that we are so pleased and happy to know that we could share this evening with you in expressing over the years your tolerance for allowing him to be out there, because he told us that you allowed it despite your objection to the hours that he come in and the frequency of him leaving home. But I just want to say that we are really glad to be part of the family, because that's what we are. And on behalf of the Independent United Order of Mechanics of the world, and I've spoken to several countries over the past 3 days, leaders of countries, leaders in the fraternity of different countries, and I have so informed them of this day coming up. And when I looked at my watch and saw the time was getting late, I said, regardless of what, we're going to just cut what we're doing this evening and be here. And so, in short, I just want to tell you that the entire world is celebrating this occasion with you tonight, and well wishes from all over the Western Hemisphere have poured into you for continued health and happiness in life as you live beyond this point. And I'd just like to say, let us, though at this late stage, let us just lift our glasses and say to them a hearty congratulations and wish them God's continued blessings on them and their family. This is his last, so let's drink to them. Thank you, Brother Toastmaster.
Anytime the VCR, Joe Grass, Snowman.
Time, and Mrs. Sang has had to put up with being home alone, and it is sort of appreciation for what Mrs. Sang has had to endure, and for the long and arduous work that Brother Sang has done for the order. Brother Sang is our grand pianist, affectionately known as the grand pianist. That is an inside joke. It's not too off color. Yeah, but he has put in some long and arduous work in the craft. So without further ado, on behalf of the daughters of the East Chapter and the sons of the East Lodge, yes, would you all please stand, the brothers and sisters from the daughters of the East Chapter and the sons of the East Lodge? On behalf of the daughters and the sons of the East Lodge and Chapter, to you, Counselor and Mrs. Sang, I make this our humble presentation. Give it to Mrs. Sang.
Thank you, Brother Allen. And now, at this point, we will ask any more presentation?
Please, will you call Councillor C.J. Grant? Please come around, C.J. Grant.
Respective units, District Grand Master, Composite District Grand Lodge, good evening. At this particular time, on behalf of the Executive Committee of Grand Council, Councillor Sang, Mrs. Sang, we who have been associated with you, I in particular, for the very limited time that I've been exposed to you and your dear wife, we have found you very endearing. And at this very significant milestone in your lives, we are very cognizant of what it takes to get to 50 years. The presence of Grand Council here in the Most Worshipful Grand Master, myself, and the Grand Treasurer and the Executive Member Norton is not indicative of your service that you have instilled in the order of mechanism. But the other councillors have asked me to convey to you and your wife their sincere best wishes in having achieved this significant milestone. It is significant in that we who are on the marriage road, I'm certain when we took our vows, and most certainly yourself and your wife, you never possibly think that you would have gotten to this particular juncture. I'm certain there have been innuendos, there have been avenues, they have been bitter, and they have been sweet. What you have done over the years is to be able to mix that bitter and that sweet, and hence you have achieved this very significant 50 years of marriage. we who are behind you will take not only a leaf but several pages out of your book. And I, for one, would like, when I do celebrate my 50th anniversary, that I will have a very representative gathering as we presently have here this evening. Councillor Mrs. Sang, on behalf of the Executive Committee of Grand Council, we just like to extend to you our very warm best wishes, and we sincerely hope that your marriage will not only achieve 50 years, but 100 years. And at that juncture, we just like to extend this small token of our appreciation to you. I'll shake your hand, Councillor, and I'll shake yours, Mrs.
Thank you very much, Constable.
I don't think I have to go through any formalities. This is just from the family, the Jones family, about to you. Blessings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, what I have said previously, Uncle Eric, Aunt Winnie, on behalf of Herman and myself, gives me great pleasure to make this small token in appreciation of the great work you have done, the time you have spent out of your house, the endurance of Aunt Winnie, and above all, being a good friend to all of us. Congratulations.
Well, don't be bashful.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's flip this down and let the cake come up here. Stay right here.
You used to work here under Nakisaki Queens.
All the cameras out
Are you ready to cut the cake?
Yes, this is the anniversary cake.
Anniversary cake. Do you want to say something to each other? Whisper something to each other.
Thank you.
All right. Let's cut the cake now. What are you cut the cake now? Cut it. All right.
Thank you very much.
Brothers and sisters of the crowd. But before I should say anything, let me first ask Brother Russell A. Brother Russell A. Come forward, sir, for either part of this.
Members of the council, brethren all, family all, and friends, good evening. I can't think of anything that I would rather do than reply on behalf of our honored couple here this evening. I must tell you that some 20 odd years ago, when I first came up to this country, I had the pleasure of staying with Uncle Eric and Aunt Winnie in their home until I got my feet on the ground and experienced that family closeness that I'm sure has helped to keep them together for these 50 years. Let me first also thank the daughters of the East and the sons of the East for giving Uncle Eric and Aunt Winnie this function here this evening. I want you to know that the family had considered doing something also, and now that you had gone ahead and done this, we sort of came all together. But we have our own little family thing that we're going to come up with shortly. Now, while we were sitting here before the function got on the way, I happened to have overheard some conversations going on between some of the children and the parents, of course. And one of the questions came up, when you got married some 50 years ago, what was the honeymoon like? And of course, Uncle Eric overheard the question and he answered back right away, them days that we never have no honeymoon. Well, I'm going to check with him later so he can tell me what he thinks about all that. And then another question came up, where did you have your honeymoon? Where did you go for your honeymoon? And Aunt Winnie quickly replied, they went to St. Thomas. Well, after all these years, Uncle Eric never really got a driver's license, so I didn't know if he was able to drive all those years. Then the other question came out, you mean you took the bus? And again, Aunt Winnie got to the rescue and said, no, somebody drove us out there, and everything worked out okay. Now, I want to tell you on this occasion that within the last 10 years, Uncle Eric moved from being Uncle Eric to Brother Sang. And Aunt Winnie can tell you that from that day forth, whenever I call there, I ask for Brother Sang. And whenever he gets on the phone, I say, Brother Sang, how are you doing? And his answer is, much better off than you, thank you. So, you know, those of you who know him well, know that he has a sharp remark to throw back at you whenever he has the occasion to. Now, I don't think they're going to want to say much here, but I want to extend a special thanks to all of you for having been here tonight. And I noticed that none of the family, immediate family, except for Dr. Wilson, actually said anything. And I don't know if I'm going to put any of them on the spot. Well, of course, Natasha did say a few things for the grandchildren. But I have to feel that the children themselves getting off so easy. And we ought to pull up one of them and have them say a couple words before I wrap up anyhow. So we have Phyllis, Dorothy, and of course, Winston Augustus Pablo. Anthony Augustus Pablo.
And Eric sang. And I'm sure my brothers and sisters all share that with me. Once again, I'm so overwhelmed. And I'm very, very happy that they have lived to see 50 years of love and devotion and happiness. And I'd like, on behalf of the family, to thank all of you for coming here tonight to share this with us, and that we will receive more of you, and that this will not be just an evening to say so long. We all love you, and thank you very much for all that you have done for us.
All right, let me continue. Obviously, she looks and all. I mean, she must have been doing something right all these years. But I also want to let you know a couple of things here about Uncle Eric, and I'm replying on behalf of the group. So I must tell you a little bit about the Sang history. Some of you know Brother Roy Sang back in Jamaica from the Provident Lodge, Jamaica District Number 2. I think at the moment he may be the Grand Deacon of that unit. Past Deacon. I want you to know that Brother Roy Sang's father is alive, and that he's 98 years old. Is it? 98 years old. Now, at this young, tender age, I can see Brother Sang moving on to that level. So I don't think we're looking at just 50. We're probably looking at 75, and I dare say how much longer. Also must add that about a little bit over a year ago, my own dad and his wife, my parents, celebrated their 50th also, and Aunt Winnie and some members of the family were able to do that. So, you know, we're looking at a record here. It's going to keep on.
Share with your family.
Well, I want to wrap up, but I want to pull out something here. I also want to tell you that I was late getting over here tonight. I had some car problems, and in waiting to get a car to come over, I decided to write something down because I just knew that I was going to be called upon. So I wrote this little unfinished poem, which I hope to read to you, and it's going to be in the first person. Rather, it's going to be Aunt Winnie and Uncle Eric talking as if to you. And it's I titled it All Those Years. It says, the years go by so quickly, it seems like only yesterday that we were young and happy, always thinking that it would be that way. The years have treated us kindly, with many a joyous memory. The disappointments have been few, but even then, they taught us wisely. We have learned so much about each other, and forgotten quite a bit too. But through it all, we always knew that I was meant for you, and you were meant for me. With God by our side, there was never a doubt that today would come about. But who is counting anyway? If you need any advice on how to be here, just come up and ask us. Uncle Eric and Aunt Winnie. Thank you very much.
Can we see this? Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, brethren of the crown, ladies and gentlemen, the colonel of an army once wife gave him a son, and his men, his officers and men, sent him a congratulatory card. So one morning at the parade, he thanked them very much for the card that they had sent to himself and his wife. And he said it in this way: I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for the congratulatory remarks that you have sent me through the card that I received. And I also tell you this, that I thank you, my wife also thank you from her bottom too. At this time, so much has been said about me in one way or the other, and about my dear wife, Winifred. But I tell you this, that we knew each other from boyhood days. And it was not, I never met her at a dance hall or a party. We used to go to the same Anglican church in Franklin Town, St. Paul's Church, which was a mission station of St. Michael's Church. And so it was there that I met her. And I also met her through my younger brother there, because both of them used to go to Central France School together. But I took her away from him. He was too slow. And I tell you this, that I had a hard time getting her, because I had to be scrutinized by a mother who was very meticulous. She would watch me. I'd be having dinner at her dining table, and I'd go to wash my hands, and she would watch me how I wash my hands, and how I wipe my hands, and no water spilled on the floor. And she would tell me that that man is a good man. And it was on the 6th of February that I had my wedding at St. Michael's Church. The ceremony was performed by the late, at that time he was Canon Reed. He became Archdeacon Reed afterwards. I was a member of his church, and he saw me grow up and he saw her grow up. And when we went to Cannon Reed one night after night service to tell him that we intend to get married, he was so happy that at that particular occasion, having watched me for so many years growing up in the church, that he offered me as a wedding present a license from the bishop to become a lay reader of the Anglican Church. And that I have been doing for past 50 years. With regards to the lodge, 48 years as a member of this order. And I found myself in a position where I could never say no to anything. I could play the piano and they would ask me to play. I could play the saw and they would ask me to play. And sometimes I find myself in a position whereby I have to be at two places at the same time. When I, under the role of the lay reader, I was always asked to officiate, to give the spiritual address at many anniversaries. Anniversaries of benevolent societies, anniversaries of parties like these, and I was all over the place. I was a man, and still a man of many parts. And as long as I can move about, I don't want my wife to hear of this, but I will be a mechanic until I die. And mechanism means sacrifice. Late hours. Leave the house at 1, 2 o'clock and come home sometimes before 12, but many times close to 5 o'clock in the morning. My most worshipful grandmaster can bail me out because when I come home at that hour in the morning, I just have a little rest and I'm going to church to attend my 11 o'clock service. And many mornings at church, the organist is absent and I am asked to pray for the service. And of course I don't play all of it, but I play the hymns. And as Mr. Maskell told you a while ago, that we are both musicians in one way or the other. He plays the violin, his son plays the violin, his daughter plays the violin, his son plays the organ and the piano, his daughter is an organist and a pianist and a music teacher, and of course I play my saw, play the fool on the saw. Nevertheless, I make sure that Mr. and Mrs. Maskell are here with us tonight. The reason that I always want my attorney with me. And so, brethren of the craft, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you on behalf of my wife and myself for coming here tonight and to let us feel that we are somebody. We are somebody. And 50 years with one woman is not an easy job. You want to know the recipe sometime?
Oh yeah.
When there's a little fuss in the house, I say, soon come back. jacket or my hat, whatever, and I'm going to walk around the block. By the time I come back home, she's fast asleep. What happened yesterday, I forget about it. Today is a new day. And so we go on and on and on. And I tell you that she is a wife, and a good wife. That's why all these presentations given to me, I have to give it to her. Tell you the truth, I have no money in my pocket. Not even a pen. Because everything goes through her. She handles that part.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I won't keep you any longer. Unless she has to say something. I don't know. You want to say something?
The only thing I can say is to keep a marriage going, you have to mix the bitter with the sweet. You never generally get all sweet. You have to mix the both of them together.
Right. Bitter sweet.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, that I was asked to be the master of ceremony, and I passed it on to no other person than you have heard.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I'll